Hey! Anyway, yeah.
Are you happy now?
I'm very happy now.
I mean, you totally shut down my antics.
Well, okay.
Are you going to look at that?
No. The reason I did that is that I will be able to get a sample of that fan noise and filter it out. Science. So there you go.
You're the man.
You're the man. Chris are going to be in here talking about God knows what.
Oh, Lord.
What is going on?
Yeah, I just kept the mics on.
What in the world? Oh, Lord, it's only Tuesday.
My friends, welcome once again to another fun-filled episode of the Butch and Chris Show.
What's kicking, Chicken?
Hey, man, it's been kicking the pants week for Gen X people.
Okay, let me just tell y'all straight up, before you do that,
Yes.
straight up, I love your wife.
Yeah, she's cool.
She's an awesome, awesome lady.
She's way over married.
This beverage has
Beverages.
been sitting here
waiting.
It's
It's just
ever
been waiting. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris has cracked the first beverage of the podcast.
You
And
think
there you
I'm
go.
dumb? I know there's a bee in there.
You
You can't hide it from me.
can't hide it from me. Dumb. Don't mess with Texas.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, it is. That's one of the good ones.
That's real good.
Yeah, that's Rockhound, right?
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not?
It is the
Which one is that?
Snake Party.
Snake Party.
It's a small batch.
I have not tried this yet.
It is a small patch double IPA.
Nice. Okay.
I would tell you where it's from.
But they ain't giving us no
They
money.
ain't giving us no
They
money.
ain't-
Or beer. If they'd give us beer
Or money.
or money,
And
either
beer.
one, and beer, money and beer would be great. But
That'd be
just
great.
beer would be great. I don't care.
Yeah, but, both. Both of them would be fantastic.
Both.
Both of them. But, ladies and gentlemen, the Butch and Chris Show. I don't know if I've introduced myself yet. Hi. My name is Butch, and because it's the Butch and Chris Show, I think you may have deduced that the other fellow sitting over here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Chris Curtis.
Oh, what's up, everybody?
Hey.
What's up?
Hey.
Hey, girl.
Oh my gosh, folks! The as you may have heard us kind of allude to the topic there. Not going to say I don't want to make a downer episode. I want to make it a celebration type episode, but it's been kind of a kick in the teeth week.
It's a celebration.
It's a celebration. Celebration. No, but it's like the last week. It's like it started off with Malcom Jamal-Warner, used to be Theo on the Cosby Show, drowned on vacation.
I remember that.
I was like, hey, that's a bummer. That's because I remember watching it. He was just a kid, and Cosby Show was huge. We used to watch it,
Sure.
Back in the day, and not knowing what we know now, but then the big one was like 2 days ago. We find out that Ozzy Osbourne passed, and that's going to be the main topic of because we had decided, hey man, we got to do one on Ozzy, and then like shortly afterwards, we found out Hulk Hogan
These people were huge.
passed away,
with
and
us growing up.
I mean, they were icons.
They were.
Of the time, and and like I said, when we get back in just a moment, we're going to be talking about Ozzy and kind of what he did, kind of what his influence on us, and some stories there. But man, you know about Hogan, and how big he was in the world of professional wrestling.
The deal is, I mean, this show we're going to talk about Ozzy, but I'd like to brush over Hulk Hogan real quick because he catapulted wrestling into mainstream.
He really did.
Mainstream. I mean, that era of it was the WWF,
right?
And then for legal reasons they had to change it to the WWE,
right?
Somebody else had World Wrestling Federation, I guess.
World Wildlife something.
I mean, guys, I'll be honest with you, it's entertaining.
Yes.
But it's not real. I mean, everybody knows it's not real. But they're athletes, for sure. And he was at the top of his
Chris
game.
Jericho described professional wrestling best just a few days ago. I saw him say this. He said, he goes, it's not that it's fake. He goes, it's very real. He goes, it's real athleticism with predetermined outcomes, but it's scripted. But there is nothing fake about what we're doing out there. It is very acrobatic. It's very demanding. And it took a toll on some of these guys like Hogan,
So a really cool story that I saw, my daughter was playing in a softball tournament over in Jonesboro, and I don't know if you know anything about softball tournaments. This is back several years ago. If you're winning, you usually have a long delay. And it was hot, so we all went back to the hotel. Of course, the girls are running wild. They're doing whatever they do.
Yeah.
And I was watching TV, and a show came on about Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Now, it was over his career and his life, but it got down to the end because Hogan wrestled Andre the Giant.
In the first WrestleMania.
Yeah. And he said, Andre ruled everything. He ruled everything. They played cards before the matches. They drank. Andre drank a case of wine or whatever. But Hogan was like, we're 2 weeks before, and we haven't worked on anything.
Yeah.
And he said, I went to him and he said, Andre, what are we doing for this? He said, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
And he just kept saying that.
I'll let you know.
The night of the fight, Hogan goes in and says, Andre, seriously, man, what are we doing? He said, I'll let you know, get out. And he kicked Hogan out of the card room.
Oh, wow.
Told him to get out. He said, we're in the ring. And literally, we went to a clinch. And he said, throw me. He said, so I spun and threw him into the ropes, and he come off. And as I catch him, he goes, body slam. And I catch him, and I'm taking him up, and he said, leg drop in the air. And that's how it ended.
Yeah.
It was amazing to me.
It is.
For Hogan to even lift Andre the Giant off the down mat.
That right there is a feat unto itself.
And he kind of got a catapult with Rocky III.
Well, that's what put him on the stage.
They put him on the map.
And that put WWF onto the next level because of the popularity.
Thunder Lips.
Thunder Lips.
In the flesh, baby.
In the flesh, baby. It was great.
It was, man. We lost an icon.
We did. We lost an icon there, for sure. My sons are huge fans.
Yeah.
We actually, so let me tell you the one time I saw Hogan in person, and we didn't know we were going to. We're at Universal Studios in Florida in like 2010, 2011. And people are coming around, and there was this, I can't remember the name of the wrestling program, but they were filming it at Universal Studios in Florida. So, hey, you want some free tickets? You can come to a wrestling show tonight. And the guys were like, yeah. And I said, great, to be after dinner. I'll just get them, Debbie can stay back here. Well, we get down like really close to the ring. And like the first 5 minutes of the episode, Hogan comes out. Apparently they've hired him for just like a short run there. And I was like, well, this has turned into a pretty cool day, but he influenced and brought professional wrestling back into a light that it had not been in before.
Well, not only that, him and Mr. T both.
Yeah.
Both of them did a lot of work with kids shows. Kids. I mean, the kids loved him.
Oh, kids
love Mr. T.
Well, dude, you think about professional wrestling. It's a big cartoon.
Pretty much. Yeah.
It's got really, because especially back in the day, you didn't have like the anti-heroes and stuff. You had faces and heels. You had the good guys and bad guys, and it was a big demarcation between the two.
Well, that was the one thing that they said about Andre, because his body had gotten so bad.
Yeah.
He became a heel because he couldn't do the moves anymore. He just couldn't do it anymore. Yep. So it's interesting. Cindy and I got wrapped up in it in the late 90s.
Oh, it was fun.
It was a soap opera.
During the Monday Night Wars in the late 90s.
So it was
Nitro,
like,
and you had WWF on
Sharon,
the other one.
What was her name? McMahon.
Yes.
Was that her name? Sharon. She was supposedly
Stephanie. Yeah.
And she was supposedly married to Triple H.
She is in real life, actually.
Is she really?
Yeah,
I didn't know
really
if she was or not, but
Yeah.
I knew on the show she was supposed to be. It was crazy. It was crazy to watch, and it was entertaining.
It was one of the more fun times of professional wrestling.
It really was.
Because it was drama. Yeah,
And
it was just drama.
I'm sorry to drag this out on the show.
No, it's okay.
But, it is an icon. And
know.
both of these guys
Well,
are icons. Now,
yes.
the actor is somebody from our young adult life
Yes.
with The Cosby Show. It's tragic when anybody
Very tragic.
dies.
Well, apparently he was saving his daughter.
Right.
And she lived. They managed to. There was a couple of surfers that came and got the little girl and took her first up there, and I just don't think he made it.
Isn't that what happened to Ryan Mallett? Didn't something like that happen?
I think so. Something
like
very similar to that. That seems like
Peyton Hillis almost died.
Yeah.
That.
Wow, man.
Well, the Riptides.
The Riptides are real, man.
They're real.
So,
For sure. Pay attention if you go to the beach, children.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris, I think this is an excellent opportunity before we get into the next part of the program here
Well, that
to
first
talk
one
about.
definitely loves the beach.
Yeah. Guys, these are the fantastic people who support the Butch and Chris show with a monthly contribution of $3. And, And, of course, first on the list we have
Big Daddy Rage.
Ladies and gentlemen, Big Daddy Rage. He gets top billing.
Shut up, Ted.
Shut up, Ted.
Smiley.
Smiley.
Cadis.
Kate Salter.
I love this guy's name, man. I can't help it.
He's a good guy. I'm actually having breakfast with him tomorrow morning.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Tell him I love his name,
Yeah.
man. Roger McDougal.
Roger McDougal. Melinda Hignite.
Dusty Breeze.
Good old Dusty Breeze, who
This is not right.
I have to call him before too long. He went to see the Goo Goo Dolls a couple of nights ago. I want to see
Did
how
he
the
really?
show was. Yeah.
Amp.
Amp. Chris B. Thank you, Chris.
Nancy Schwartz.
Nancy Schwartz. Ladies and gentlemen, Big Josh Ramsey.
Fran.
Fran.
Fran Adams.
Fran. Donna's husband. Moving on to Tanya Highland, our first ever producer.
Tanya, we really love you.
We do. And with eternal love to Linda and Steven. If you want to support this podcast, you can do it by going to butchandchris.com and join the list with these fine people right here. We actually got to hang out with Donna and her husband
Yep.
and their poodle a couple of weeks ago.
And their son and his girlfriend.
Yes. Yes. And it was funny because all the women went to the pool. And all those guys are like sitting in the shade with beverages.
Beverages. That's exactly right.
And a fun time.
We had a great time. It was with one of the twins' house.
Yeah.
He had a kind of a post 4th of July cookout.
Yeah, it was a day after.
First time they'd ever had everybody up to their place. And
it was
they're
fun up there.
Literally, they are living Arkansas, baby.
They are in the middle. I want to say they're in the middle of nowhere, but you can see it from there.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's nice. A nice remote property, little cabin up there.
Drive 22 miles and then hit this gravel road.
You hit a gravel road. Anytime they say turn off the dirt road or turn onto the dirt road, you know.
You're there, baby.
You're there, baby. But we had a good time. Very good time. Shot some fireworks. Watched some fireflies. It was a good evening, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, the topic of today's show is to talk about the life of John Michael Osbourne, known to the world as Ozzy Osbourne, born on December 3rd, 1948, and sadly passed away just a couple of weeks or a couple of days ago on July 22nd.
I'm not going to speak ill will about the dead, but I'm surprised he lived this long.
Listen, no, that's not ill. Okay, so just like a couple of weeks ago, he did that final show.
Yeah, and I didn't see it. I haven't seen it yet.
I've seen some clips of it, and you know what? Given what state he was in, he did pretty good. But it's like that soon after, and I told Debbie, I said, I think he was living for that.
Probably.
He was living to do that one final show.
He was definitely a showman.
From the reports that I had, he had been diagnosed with Parkinson's. He had a very bad spinal surgery like 2 years ago, which was the start of the fast decline, I think.
Yeah.
And has not been really able to move around a lot in the past 6 years due to Parkinson's and some severe back injuries. But they said he went off of his Parkinson's meds and he went off of his pain meds like 2 weeks before the show because they affected his ability to sing. And,
I don't see how any chemical substance could affect that man's ability to sing.
I know, but
I'm just saying.
Well, cocaine's a different drug, but and
cocaine's a hell of a drug.
And that's not speaking ill of the dead. That's just speaking to what he's admitted to.
Yeah.
So, John Michael Osbourne was born at the maternity hospital in Marston Green, a suburb of Birmingham, United Kingdom, on December 3rd, 1948, and grew up in the Aston area of Birmingham. His parents were Jack and Lillian Osbourne. And he got the name Ozzy from his parents, actually. So
they gave him the nickname Ozzy?
They gave him the nickname Ozzy.
I like it.
He suffered severe dyslexia. He was not a great student, had actually some pretty bad experiences in school with bullies, and actually had attempted suicide before like the age of 12 because of the bullying that he went through. But then he heard his first Beatles song. Johnny was a young, and he heard his first Beatles song. Yeah, and that's a true story. Except it was She Loves You in 1963, and he said after he heard that, he was inspired to be a musician. And he had a love for the Beatles. If you got him, I saw him on interviews, he would just gush about the Beatles.
Me too.
And we do too.
I do. That song right there, you can see
She Loves You?
Yeah, you can see how it was a hit.
Yeah.
I mean, really and truly, if you listen to it. Now, you're coming out of the 50s and bop and all of that, so there's still a hint of all of that. It's all mainstream.
But it's a little bit different.
It is a little bit different, but it is a cool tune, man. I can
is.
see where that would inspire somebody to be a musician.
Yeah, and so Ozzy actually teamed up with Tony Iommi, who they did not get along when they knew each other in school, which is, they actually were kind of fought a few times when they were in school together. Wow. Geezer Butler and Bill Ward, they formed a band called Earth. There was already a band named Earth out there, so they had to change their name. And they had just seen, I think it was Geezer Butler, had gone to the movies at a matinee and saw a movie called Black Sabbath with Boris Karloff and went, well, that's a cool band name. And interesting story. Do you know how they got their guitar sound? Have you heard the story about that?
I have not.
Okay, so Tony Iommi, as a lot of young men did in the Birmingham area, it was a big steel town, and he worked in a steel mill. And he got the tips of his pinky and I think his ring finger and his middle finger on his left hand cut off in there, or crushed in a press. They were gone. And he made these
I have heard this story.
These wax coverings to go over his fingertips. Yeah. And so to make it easier to play guitar, he strung his electric guitar with banjo strings because they're thin and then tuned down. That's how they got that sound.
Wow.
That without him having the tips of his fingers cut off, I don't know if heavy metal would sound like heavy metal.
That's incredible.
Isn't that a wild story?
The funny, just an interesting rabbit hole side note, like Stevie Ray, he played like the heaviest damn strings he could get.
Yeah.
And was still breaking them.
Yeah.
But he has a unique sound.
He has a unique sound.
So that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yep.
And so 1969, they named the band Black Sabbath. The first Black Sabbath album was released in 1970. Which I believe, as a kid, had the scariest song I'd ever heard on there. A song called Black Sabbath. It wasn't that one.
That's not it.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Which one for you?
War Pigs.
War Pigs scared you?
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
My brother's in there on the 8-track.
Out.
Yeah. Sirens are going off. Yeah, I was freaking out.
Oh man, so but that was the whole thing with Black Sabbath, is they actually did try to scare people. So
it worked.
It worked.
I don't know if a grown man would be scared, but I was as a child.
They wanted to. Well, you look at those movies. A lot of those movies used to scare me then. They don't scare me now.
Right.
But they became wildly popular because one, it's no one that really sounded like them, and so they were considered really the godfathers of heavy metal. Oh, that's just the dog just a whining.
Does he want to go out?
Yeah, he wants to go out. So Chris is going to go let the dog out because he's closer to the door.
I love Bentley the Party Poodle.
Bentley the Party Poodle, general manager of this here podcast. This is the part of the show where Chris goes and let the dogs out. It's so funny. He'll be ready to come in a little bit. He'll go, oh yes, it's quite warm, isn't it? So, yeah, we'll give him about 15 minutes. He'll be ready to come right back in.
He's got stuff to do.
Yeah, he's got stuff to pee on out there. I'm gonna be honest. He's been pretty peeing. He's been pretty busy peeing out there since we had babysat this other dog. This last weekend.
Come in here and mess up all my stuff.
Come on. He peed on stuff. Now I got to go back and pee on it again. But, yeah.
Funny.
So, the first album Ozzy did was with the self-titled Black Sabbath, followed by Paranoid in 1970, which is probably Black Sabbath's signature song, the one that if they didn't do in concert, they'd get, beat up. Master of Reality in 71, Volume 4, which is one of my favorite ones that they did, actually, in 1972. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath in 73, Sabotage, another really good one, in 1975, Technical Ecstasy in 76, Never Say Die in 1978, and then the next studio album, they did some live ones after they reformed with Ozzy, but Black Sabbath had one called 13 in 2013 that they released, the final studio album that they did with Ozzy.
So they've got a really cool song. I don't know which album it's on. You know more about Black Sabbath than I do. I mean, I know the hits.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd never heard this song before, but when I heard it, have you ever heard Planet Caravan?
Yeah.
That's a cool
song.
song.
Here's the thing about Black Sabbath. They were the forerunners of heavy metal, but there was no rules about what heavy metal was then.
Right.
And Geezer Butler, if you listen to his bass playing, he's very much a jazz type player. So some of their stuff kind of went to freeform jam type jazz stuff.
Yeah.
It was heavy.
I don't know that you would call that jazz either. That's a very Pink Floyd-ish song. Honestly.
Yes, absolutely. It was.
Really
because
cool.
there was no rules then about what you were supposed to be in there. But so we get to 1979, a very bad tour with the Never Say Die album. Everybody's doing cocaine. And as we mentioned before, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
I just keep thinking, man, how bad do you have to be to get
fired from a rock band? Yeah.
Get kicked out of Black Sabbath.
Yeah. Well, he was fired in 79 over drug and alcohol issues, and Ozzy says his usage of drugs is pretty much what everybody else was doing. Yeah. He just was not. He and Tony were going through a rough patch right there. Yeah. And so he leaves Black Sabbath, and so the story is after he left or got fired or however you want to say it, he basically got 96,000 pounds, which if you were to convert it in today's conversion rate, it's like $125,000 in cash money in 1979, which was a lot more money than it is now. And he basically went on a bender in L.A. doing coke and drinking for like months. Just went to a hotel room and just, was trying to just self-destruct and was doing a pretty good job. Now, enter a guy named Don Arden. Don Arden was a guy who he was a manager of Sabbath, and he was one of those old-school music managers that a lot of negotiations were probably held at gunpoint, and I'm not even making that up. He was very notoriously a ruthless kind of guy.
Kind of sounds like you had to be ruthless in the music.
Yeah.
And Colonel Tom Parker's not got a great reputation either.
Not either.
That was Elvis's manager.
Yeah.
So
Don, he was their manager, Black Sabbath's, and he wanted to kind of protect his investment in Ozzy and kind of keep him in the fold. Eventually, he wanted him back in Black Sabbath, and so he sent Sharon Arden, his daughter, to basically handle Ozzy. Okay, now Sharon and Ozzy had known each other for years. And during this time, she basically saved his life. He was pretty messed up and kind of took over and just started kind of guiding Ozzy, which she would do for the rest of his life. And they fell in love. The only problem is Ozzy's married at this point.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Ozzy's married with a kid or two. And so, it wasn't a great situation. But in 79, under the management of the Arden family, Ozzy forms the Blizzard of Oz. Okay, and the first version of this band is the one that you actually hear on the first two albums because they all recorded that before it was ever released. The first two, which was Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman. They were released about a year apart. But the first lineup was Lee Kerslake, who used to be in Uriah Heep, Bob Daisley, who used to be in Rainbow, Don Airey, also, who was in Rainbow, and then later on Deep Purple, and then a young guy named Randy Rhoads, who basically took a little bit of attention from Eddie Van Halen for a little bit because of his...
Well, they were crosstown rivals anyway.
Yeah, they were at the time because he was in a band called Quiet Riot,
He was
which would
founding,
later on...
founding member
Yes.
of Quiet Riot.
Quiet Riot would go on to be signed later, but at this point they were just kind of one of the bands that were slugging it out in L.A. and that scene out there. But Randy Rhoads was brought in, classically trained guitarist, by the way, incredible guitarist. And with them together, they put out the first Ozzy solo album, Blizzard of Oz, which the first two to me are like a 1-2 punch. You can't really, you gotta. I think they are good together. I think you got to have them both. Those first two albums, and it makes sense because they were recorded basically at the same time. But Blizzard of Oz comes out. That's the one that's got Crazy Train on it. But personal story here. I remember in summer of '81 that I'm riding around.
Wonder with who?
With a buddy of mine, and he pops it. He goes, "Dude, you got to hear this." And he pops a cassette in. And the first song I ever hear is the first cut off of Blizzard of Oz, which is I Don't Know. And I went, oh, this is amazing. Yeah. And I have to have this. And so for that's how I became an Ozzy fan at that point. Now, you started a little earlier because your brother scared you to death with Ozzy and Black Sabbath.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I remember a lot of this going down. I mean,
yeah,
Monty was on top of all that stuff, so I would hear stuff, but I didn't pay any attention to it.
Yeah,
I didn't. I mean,
well, it just exploded. That first album exploded.
It did.
And everybody had it. It was just and that came out in '80, followed by Diary of a Madman in '81, and that, like I said, just the 1-2 punch there with Randy Rhoads.
I would say those first three albums were huge.
They are.
All three of those.
They are. Bark at the Moon being released in '83.
Yeah.
In '82, okay, here comes personal story time. I go with, I believe, the Clegg brothers and my future brother-in-law, Rick, and Ozzy's playing Pine Bluff in March of that year. And we get to see, the original lineup. Well, not quite original. They had brought in Rudy Sarzo to play bass and Tommy Aldridge on drums, replacing the other two guys. But, yeah, for all intents and purposes, it's the original lineup, the classic Ozzy lineup of Blizzard of Oz. UFO opened the show.
Great.
Fantastic band.
Great band.
And 2 weeks later, Randy Rhoads dies.
In a plane crash.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, very shocking to us. Very quickly, do you remember the guitarist they tagged to come in?
Jakey Lee?
Nope, not yet. Brad Gillis from Night Ranger.
I did not know.
I
did not know.
Yes, they finished the tour with Brad Gillis, and then they would later record a live album of Black Sabbath live covers with the Blizzard of Oz band and Brad Gillis playing lead on it, called Speak of the Devil. And it's basically Ozzy doing live covers of Black Sabbath songs. And it's fantastic, and I don't think you can find a copy of it today.
Why?
Licensing issues and things like that. But
there was an eye roll there y'all didn't see.
Yeah, you didn't see the eye roll. But I think you're probably going to see it because of the interest now, probably be released again. So it'd be shocking to me if they didn't. But it's a great album. If it gets a chance, if it comes back out, you will love it. By the way, I'm just going to say this as an aside here. Brad Gillis of Night Ranger is one of the undersung guitar players out there. He is amazing. I've seen him live like 6 times, and he's one of the best guitar players out there ever. And they offered him the job full time to be Ozzy's guitar player, and he basically said, no, I've got my brothers out here, we've been trying to get a record deal, and so the next year or later on in '82, they would release the first Night Ranger album, and that's how they took off.
I love that band too.
Oh, they're a great band. So yeah, Bark of the Moon was the Jake E. Lee's first, and he was an amazing guitar player.
He is an amazing guitar player, for sure.
So,
is he the one? Is he the one that played in Crossroads? Was that Jake E. Lee?
Steve Vai.
Steve Vai.
Steve Vai played in the movie Crossroads. Not the Britney Spears movie Crossroads. The real one with Ralph Macchio.
Is there what? Britney Spears.
Yeah, there was a movie called Crossroads with Britney Spears.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's nothing like. They don't cut heads on that one. I'm just saying. They don't cut heads.
Y'all, if you're looking for something to watch, a good old movie, it's got Ralph Macchio in it, and he is a classically trained guitarist that is in love with the blues, and he basically breaks a old blues guy out of a
nursing home
in New York. Are they in New York? And they go to Mississippi, and it's a hell of a damn movie.
It's a good movie. It ends up being a supernatural thriller.
Yeah, it is a supernatural thriller. It's good though.
A supernatural thriller with guitars. That's all I got to say about that. It's got Steve Vai in it. Why
cutting heads here every Saturday night.
So you would have Jake E. Lee, the guitar player, on Bark at the Moon in '83, and '86 released The Ultimate Sin. Then you would bring in '88 a guitar player on No Rest for the Wicked, a fellow by the name of Zakk Wylde, who would basically be with Ozzy until the end, literally until the end. Zakk was with him.
He's a hell of a guitar player too.
He is too, and I know that we kind of had a split, like a good and bad review of his show there, but there's no taking away from the fact that guy is an amazing guitar player.
It wasn't the guitar playing.
It was the song selection.
It was the song selection that nobody knew what the hell he was playing. But it was awesome.
But he went really deep. I'm just going to say that into the catalog. But I will have to say that he always referred to Ozzy as the boss. And even as he got famous, had solo success and stuff like that, he would always come back for Ozzy. And whenever Ozzy needed him, he was back there. So much for the fact that his kids called him Uncle Jake, or not Uncle Jake, but Uncle Zach.
Uncle Zach.
Yeah, he was Uncle Zach to Jack and Kelly Osbourne. Then in 1991, they released No More Tears, and that is, I'm going to be honest, along with the first two, my other favorite.
That's a good album.
Ozzy album. To me, top to bottom, one of the best albums he ever put out. And No More Tears is right there. And we'll get into this later. That's one of my favorites of all time. Right there. He had several more releases during the 90s, starting in the 90s. Osmosis, Down to Earth, Undercover, Black Rain, and Scream. And also during this time, he started a little tour called Ozfest.
I remember that.
And that's where he kind of got back with Black Sabbath in the mid-2000s. They would do Ozfest dates, and they would do a Ozzy show, and then they would close with
Black Sabbath.
With the Black Sabbath again.
Cool.
And this was a cool time, too, in the mid-2000s, because, as you know, when Ozzy left the band in '79, they brought in Ronnie James Dio. And I'm going to tell you, I love those Dio-era Black Sabbath albums, too. I think it's really cool songs on there.
Well, you're talking about an iconic voice.
Yes.
Also.
Yeah. Yes. Also another iconic voice. But it was really cool because during this time, they reformed with Ronnie James Dio. But because they'd started touring with Ozzy as Black Sabbath again, they made another band called Heaven and Hell, which was the name of the first Dio Black Sabbath album. And they would perform as Heaven and Hell with him, and then they would do dates with Ozzy as
That's cool.
Black Sabbath. So, a little bit of double dipping there. That's all I'm saying.
Cool.
And then Ozzy would not have any studio albums for almost 10 years. He came back with Ordinary Man in 2020, and his last album was in 2022. It was Patient Number 9. I remember Ordinary Man got a lot of attention because it was his first, and he actually had a duet with Elton John on there. It was actually really good.
Man, you know what, dude? I don't care what you do at your house. Elton John's a hell of a musician.
Dude, I went and saw him in concert.
He's incredible in
And
concert.
he was amazing in concert. I'm going to tell you right
That
now, it's one of the
dude-
most
that
fun
dude-
concerts I've ever seen.
That's another icon. An interesting side note.
Yeah.
There, for all you children out there listening, if you like Elton John's music, go find a little Elton John album from 1970 called
Madman Across the Water?
No, drew a blank. God.
The White Album. No, I'm just kidding.
Go ahead, keep talking. I'll
Yes.
come up with it in a second.
Hey, listen. Why don't you go let the dog in? He's probably hot by now. I'll just wait here till you get back.
You just keep talking.
I'll just keep talking.
Trust me, there's no shortage of Butch talk.
There's no shortage of Butch talking there. Butch can talk. By the way, while Chris is gone, I want to invite you all. Go to butchandchris.com. That is our website. That's where you can find links to be a member of our Producers Club, where for $3 a month, you can support this here podcast. And you can do it by going to butchandchris.com.
So while I was going to let Bentley in, I remembered the name of that Elton John album,
What is
Tumbleweed Connection, and it is
Tumbleweed Connection.
awesome.
Listen, the stuff he did in the mid-'70s is just
This
amazing.
is early 70s. This is an early
Yeah.
album, and a really, really good friend of mine turned me onto that album.
Yeah.
Who was older than I was, and it stays in my repertoire. I
Yeah.
love that album. Love
listen,
it. It's incredible.
love Elton John stuff. Speaking of 70s bands that I wish I'd have gotten to see, Debbie was watching because we watched the Black Sabbath performance, which they reformed the original lineup in '85 for a one-shot deal at Live Aid with the original Black Sabbath. And that got us to watching the Queen performance there.
Incredible.
Unfreaking believable. He had the crowd just right here. That guy could work. Freddie Mercury could work a crowd like nobody's business. It was amazing. Just like that. Yeah. Yeah, you grab them by that and the hearts will soon follow. Anyway, oh my gosh.
God, there's no cameras.
Yeah, we used to, but we couldn't have aired that part. You can hear it, but you can't see it.
Oh man.
So now I want to talk Ozzy a little bit here as far, do you have an overall favorite solo album that he did?
The Blizzard of Oz.
Blizzard of Oz, first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's excellent. I mean,
It is.
Randy Rhoads' work on that album is incredible.
Oh, man.
And I know dog ticks out there just probably screaming at the TV because I'm
Nobody cares.
not talking about Randy Rhoads enough. But man,
Randy
Man.
Rhoads was amazing.
he was
absolutely
amazing. I mean, if you like Eddie Van Halen, there's no way you can't like Randy Rhoads and respect.
Oh, I know.
Because he was every bit as good as Eddie.
He was
if not
in
better.
different ways.
It was in different ways.
It was in different ways because
Eddie was innovative, for
Eddie
sure.
was innovative. Eddie played by feel. Eddie admitted to not writing or reading music at all. He played by feel. Randy understood music. He took classic guitar
His
lessons.
parents were music instructors.
He was a guitar teacher himself. So he understood music. And so you kind of come at it from two different areas. Randy Rhoads, if you listen to his stuff, he's very classically trained. You can hear that. You can hear the classical music vibe
You can
in
smell
some
it.
of that.
You can smell it.
You can smell this classical music vibe. You have a favorite Sabbath album that he was... Yeah,
Whatever-
like
whatever.
the greatest hits.
I really do, man.
We
I'll be
sold our
honest.
soul for rock and roll. That would have been the greatest hits.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. To be honest with you, brother,
What do you have a favorite Black Sabbath song then?
Planet Caravan.
Planet Caravan.
It's definitely, and then, of course, it's the hits. Anytime Paranoid comes on, the radio gets cranked.
Yeah,
Iron Man gets cranked.
yeah.
War Pigs gets cranked. I mean, I am not a huge.
I'm not as big a Black
Black
Sabbath
Sabbath.
fan as I am an Ozzy fan.
No, and I agree with you 100%. Because I mean, if you
Now
look,
that's
if
another
you
thing
look-
that's going to make Mike Clegg scream at the screen. There is that my favorite version of Black Sabbath was the Dio version of Black Sabbath
instead of Ozzy being
instead of Ozzy, and Ozzy I like better solo. But
I can see that.
yeah,
Because like Blizzard of Oz, this is our era.
it is.
Honestly, our era.
It's-
80
yes.
through 89, 91, No More Tears. That's our era. That's
Yeah.
our junior high school, college
Right.
years.
College,
So, of
young
course, it's-
adult years. When the time you
it's
get
going
to
to
the
be
other one.
huge. So,
So, what about your Ozzy songs? What Ozzy solo songs?
man, Crazy Train is one of my all-time favorite songs of any song.
Yeah,
I love the words. If you listen to the
Yeah.
lyrics, it's really cool what he put out there.
it is.
Amazing.
Listen, he does not get enough credit for being a lyricist in the things. That
No, but
he
that's really cool the
wrote.
way it's written. I mean, he basically tells you that the media basically tells
Yeah.
you how to live your life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
The-
basically what
yeah.
he's telling you.
the media sells it, and you live the role.
You live the role.
Yeah.
That's right. And
And-
it's really, really cool. No More Tears is a really cool song. The song that he did with Lita Ford,
Close my eyes.
Close My
Yeah.
Eyes Forever. Yeah, that man, freaking awesome song.
Okay, so I would have to say there's a lot. I'm going to go a little deeper on the first two albums and say,
He doesn't get to say that much.
yeah, I'm going to go a little deeper on the first two albums. You Can't Kill Rock and Roll off of Diary of a Madman. It's still one of my favorite songs ever. But getting a little bit later on into his career, on into the 90s, he Mama, I'm Coming Home.
Oh, great tune.
Let me
Really
tell you
great
something,
tune.
man. That is a fantastic song. Do you know who he wrote that with?
No.
And you're not going to believe this.
No.
Lemmy from Motorhead wrote Mama, I'm Coming Home, and Ozzy recorded it. Lemmy said he got rich
I bet he did.
off of that song
I bet he did.
because he wrote Mama, I'm Coming Home and realized he's not really, you can't really hear Lemmy singing Mama, I'm Coming Home. you
So
know.
we're not. I mean, I'm delving away from Ozzy again, but the guitar work on Mr. Crowley by Randy Rhoads is
Amazing.
freaking incredible.
It's incredible.
I really like that song because of that. I like guitarists. That's the way I am.
Yes.
That's the way I'm built. So
So that leads us into, I mean, I think you have to, I think you have to just say, okay, we're going to take Randy Rhoads out because obviously he's going to win, I think, on his best guitarist.
oh,
absolutely. But between, let's say, Jake Ely and Zach Wild.
I'll take Jakey Lee.
Jake Ely. I'm going
I've
to tell
seen
you,
them
man,
both, and I'll take Jakey Lee.
the solo work he did on Bark at the Moon, dude, amazing. Now, that's not taking anything away from Zach Wild.
No, not at all.
I think
I'm
they're
just
too
saying,
amazing.
I
but
prefer
if
his
you
guitar
go
playing.
and listen to Bark at the Moon, especially Bark at the Moon.
So you're saying Bark at the Moon?
with Jakey Lee. Yes, Jakey Lee. And by the way, that album's Bark at the Moon. I don't know if you got that. Released in '83.
I'm jacking with Butch.
I
It's
know.
normal.
I know.
So-
It's normal. But yes, incredible. But then you look at No More Tears and that solo that Zach Wild rips off on that one. I mean, he has been blessed with his career
He
of
has.
having great musicians
He has.
around him.
I agree with you. And that, I mean, I'll be honest with you, dude. He was great. As far as guitars go, he was great live.
Yeah.
He really was fun to watch. At one
Yeah,
point, he
it's-
walked off the stage
He
into
was-
the middle of the crowd.
He walked right in front of us.
Right in front of us, playing the guitar as
and
he
I'm
walked
like,
out there.
he's right here.
He dropped a solo right in the middle of the hall. It was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. I just wish that he would have played the greatest hits and not
me too.
the deep tracks.
Me too.
But yes, so the influence on music that he had, I don't think that can be understated in any sense. I think he influenced a lot of people, including
Guaranteed.
Judas Priest on that he influenced.
Metallica.
On Metallica. You got
Pantera.
Pantera.
Well, I think Metallica enhanced, or in
Yeah.
what do you call it?
Megadeth,
Yeah.
all of those bands. I mean, basically, he wrote what heavy metal was going to be between him and Black Sabbath.
Yeah,
You know,
I agree, 100%.
And the other person that there are two people, and I've said this before, that need to get credit for heavy metal in the '80s. exploding, and they'd never get mentioned. And that's a guy named Martin Birch who produced Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, and he produced the first 2 Black Sabbath albums with Dio.
Man, I'm telling you right now.
And then you
Norris loved Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden.
He loved Iron Maiden. We got to see him. We got to see them.
We
in
got
Tulsa.
to see them with Steve.
With Steve.
Just dang right, sir.
Yep.
And then you have Sharon Osbourne, who had she not gotten in there and saved him from himself.
You know, and he had that was a hit show.
Yeah.
They had a TV show. I don't know if y'all are aware of this, but Ozzy had a TV show. If you've lived under a rock for the past 15 years, you might want to go back and watch some reruns because it was hilarious.
It was.
It really
was great. It was fun TV. He said he hated it though.
I bet he did.
He hated it. His kids, Jack, which I don't know if you've ever seen the interview. Jack's a cool dude.
He is.
Jack is actually a TV producer now. He produces a lot of stuff. But he said, my dad hated that. He said, and so he was so glad when that was over on there.
I think when you say that, I mean, take the Robinsons, for instance, from Duck Commander. I think they were glad it was over when it was over.
Yeah, anytime you put a family under a microscope like that, it's going to be. I think it made Ozzy more famous and relevant.
I do too.
At the time, and which I think you also have to give Sharon credit for that. Sharon is. She gets maligned a lot because she is kind of a ball buster. But she takes care of her family is what she does.
Yeah, And I liked her I liked her seeing the interactions between her and Ozzy. I like seeing that not only on the show, but I've seen her in other things where it wasn't scripted.
Yeah,
and it was the same. It wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah. She loved the guy.
Absolutely,
she absolutely did. And he loved her. Guys, prayers go out to the family of John Michael Osbourne, known to the world as Ozzy. I don't think you can underestimate the influence that he had on music, on popular culture, and he's going to be missed, and this was a hard Gen X week, dude.
It really was. It really was. So,
yeah.
Thanks.
Dude, but I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad we're here. And I'm glad you people are listening. Life is precious, guys. It really is. Hug your children, hug your mom, hug your dad, hug everybody. And don't take none of this stuff for granted, folks, because, it's... You never know. You never know. Listen, guys, thanks for listening to this episode of the Butch and Chris Show. If you want to support us, you can go to butchandchris.com, and we will see you next time. You have your day, people. AMF, guys.